Hi team, I hope you're all well. Happy New Year. I cannot believe we're at 2025. I just don't know how we got here so quick. It was creeping up and now we're here and I can't believe it. I am very excited about what's to come for 2025. 2024 was a little bit of an up and down year, not too much of a roller coaster, but a little bit of an up and down year, and the highs were really high. It was a very good year as far as the highs are concerned, especially towards the end of the year. So I'm really hoping that that trajectory can kind of continue in 2025 for everybody. So yeah, I'm very excited about what's to come for 2025. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a relatively busy year, but I'm really excited. And I'm here today to chat to you about my goals. So these are, for the most part, related to the bookish side of things for me. I've obviously got personal goals as well that I would like to achieve in 2025, but there are a number of things that I would like to achieve as far as my reading is concerned, or you know, like what I prioritize to read this year for the most part. And I haven't set like a Goodreads goal yet either, and I do need to do that. I think I might set it at around like 120. I think like one of my first goals for the year needs to be quality over quantity. I read 256 books in 2024, and that isn't the highest number of books that I've ever read in a year either. But I think for 2025 I would like to read more quality over quantity. Do you know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, I don't struggle with that too much because I am an avid DNFer. So if I am not enjoying a book, or I genuinely think that it's a terrible book, I will DNF it. There is no hate reading going on with me because I cannot. I have ADHD, so this means that I will not waste my time on something I'm not enjoying, because I haven't got it in me even to do like a hate read of it that I think might make a really good video, especially if it's a popular book as well. I haven't got it in me. I just can't do it. I haven't got the patience. So I'm an avid DNFer. I DNF'd a lot of books in 2024, so I think it was 16, but I'm fairly certain that number is not accurate. I think it's more than that. So you know, it's quite a few books, especially for some people that may not DNF, which is also absolutely fine. But I am just an avid DNFer. If I'm not enjoying something, I will not waste my time on it. It's time that could be spent reading my new favourite book, or a book that I'm going to enjoy way more. Do you know what I mean? Or even rereading something I know I'm going to love. So yeah, I think maybe quality over quantity, but we'll see. Some days I want to power through like 2 or 3 books. Some days I don't want to pick up a book at all. I don't even want to look at a book. So, you know, I think we all have those days, but when those days come where I want to power through a handful of books, sometimes it can be a week long, and what I'll do is I'll smash my way through like 10 books, and I just can't be stopped. I will just sit and read and read and read and read, and I can't be stopped. And you know, it's great. I love it. So some of my other reading goals in 2025, I want to read more non-fiction and like memoirs and stuff. Last year in 2024, I read only 1 non-fiction book, which is terrible. I literally can't believe that I only read 1 non-fiction, and it was towards the end of the year as well. It was The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. But I actively want to read more non-fiction in 2025. I would like to aim for 1 a month, so 12 non-fiction books by the end of the year. That is literally my goal. I'm not going to push myself too hard to read too many. I have a few already that I've been saving up, fuck knows for what, but that I've been saving up, and I would like to read some more. So if you've got any recommendations for me, I really love like true crime ones. So I'm thinking like I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and also, you know, The 5 Women, the Stalking Jack the Ripper one. I liked both of those books very much so. So if you've got any recommendations for me based off of that, because the majority of the non-fiction that I do have are memoirs, or, you know, like Jeremy Clarkson's Diddly Squat series. I've read the first one, but I've got the other 3 in the series. So it's things like that I would like to pick up more non-fiction books, and true crime is definitely something that I lean into a lot more. So I would like to try more true crime books, I think. So if you've got any recommendations for me, let me know in the comments down below. That would truly help. I also want to read more of my subscription box books as well. I am sick to death of seeing the book tree downstairs, my bookshelf tree downstairs, full of my subscription box books that I haven't read for years. Like, I have books on there from 2021, subscription boxes, and I really want to start prioritizing them in 2025. I've actually got a new series coming to you in 2025 in which I'm going to try and do that. So I would really like to wipe out my backlist, and I think my aim for the end of the year is to only have, if I've got any left, they're only 2024 and 2025 ones. I want to give myself a little bit of leeway, but they're only 2024 and 2025 ones, so literally like the current year and the last year. I don't want to be having 2021, 2022, 2023 books still left over that I haven't read from subscription boxes, and this is only from the subscription. This isn't including anything I've purchased on top of that from Verily or Illumicrate or wherever. So I would like to prioritize those a little bit more this year, because there's way too many that I've still got left over that I've dated now, to be honest, and I probably won't necessarily like, but you never know, sometimes you can find a gem. I also want to prioritize translated fiction this year as well. I've really gotten into translated fiction with the Kamigawa Food Detectives, and then I've read a couple of others as well, and I've started a real collection going, so I would like to read more of those. And again, I'd like to aim for like one a month. I feel like that's a good goal to have. So I want to do a translated fiction one a month and a non-fiction one a month, and I want to prioritize my subscription box books. And I also want to prioritise my arcs this year as well. I actually read way more arcs last year than I've ever done before. I read like 23 arcs last year, which is almost 2 a month. And I know as the year was coming to an end, towards the end of the year, I was reading way more arcs. I was getting through them at a rapid pace as well. And I was like to prioritise more arcs in 2025. So again, I feel like maybe 2 a month is a good goal to have, because I did read 23 in 2024, so 2 a month would be a nice goal to have. I know it looks like I'm building up my TBR here, but you know, the arcs could cover things like translated fiction, or they could cover things like a subscription box book that might come out later on in the year, for example, or a non-fiction. So you know, these I can kind of build these up and maybe combine some of them as well. Obviously not all of them. We don't tend to get non-fiction in subscription box books, and we don't too often get translated fiction either in subscription box books, but I can combine some of these goals with others. Off of the back of that, I do want to physically read more as well. There are way too many books on my shelves that have been neglected because I don't physically read a lot, and I've really gotten into my Kindle this year. Well, 2024, hugely got into my Kindle, and especially again toward the last few months of the year, it's been attached to my hand, especially since my birthday and I got my new one. So it's never out, other than now, obviously, it's never out of my hand. I'm constantly reading on it. So I would like to prioritize physically reading more, whether that be on my Kindle or physically opening a book. I tend to prioritize audiobooks because I can multitask and I can get several things done at once, and with ADHD that really helps me out. I don't find that I have a lot of time to just sit down and physically read a book, and when I do, I will allow myself to get distracted. However, I don't know what it is about my Kindle. I can just really hyper focus on it, and I'm not sure why. So if I can get the book on Kindle as well without it costing too much money, I also want to prioritize just buying on my Kindle more as well instead of buying the physical book. I've really got to try and, you know, reduce this down this year. I want to try and reduce my spending in 2025. That is another goal as well, while we're on the topic of it. I want to try and reduce my spending in 2025. I do have a whole bunch of books already pre-ordered, and I'm not going to cancel those because I have made sure that anything I've pre-ordered is something that I really, really want in 2025. But I want to reduce my spending. I want to stop just buying a book because I want to have it on my shelf and it's something that I might get to in the next 3 years. You know, if I only want to buy it if I've read it on Kindle Unlimited, or I got an ARC and I want to support the author and I really enjoyed it and I want a trophy copy for my shelves, or it's something that I will be picking up pretty much immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I should really be buying these books now. It's the only reason I should have ever been buying books, but you know, it is what it is. But I really need to reduce that and get better with that as well. And on that basis, I also want to try and stop buying special edition books just because I feel like I'm going to be missing out. I didn't get the Chestnut Springs series from Fairaloot. I was low on money at the time. I'm really struggling throughout December, so I didn't end up getting them. And for the first few days, I was absolutely devastated, like really, really gutted, because it's one of my favourite series of all time. And then I've sat and I've thought about it, and I actually love having the matching editions of her different series. Like, they all look really pretty stacked and everything, and they're really beautiful. So I'm not that mad about not having them. I know they're going to be stunning, and I know I'm going to be jealous when everyone gets them and shares pictures on Instagram, but I've really got to prioritise not spending that kind of money on the books for them just to sit on my shelves. Because the other thing as well is that I wouldn't get rid of the paperbacks, because if I wanted to reread them, I would read the paperbacks and not the pretty editions. So I've got to stop doing that, and I really want to try and get better at that in 2025. I want to be, you know, I should only be getting special editions of literally my favourite books on the planet. There's no need for me to have every special edition going, and I've really got to stop doing it just because of FOMO. I also really want to diversify my reading this year. So I did go through some stats yesterday on what my reading kind of looked like, and I would really like to get my percentages up on disability rep, LGBTQ rep, and also POC authors. I want to try and be, you know, actively reading more of these books. I actually really want to be reading more books with neurodivergent rep in them. That's something that I really do want to be kind of looking for a little bit more in books. I'm always, whenever I find, like, pick up a book and somebody in it has got ADHD, I am always so pleasantly surprised, and I really should be looking for these books a little bit more actively. I would like to as well, but I also really just in general want to diversify my reading a little bit more. I think my percentages are not as good as I would like them to be, and I would like them to be better. So that's something else I want to like be mindful of in 2025, diversifying my reading a little bit more. I also really want to be supporting indie authors as well in 2025. I've done it quite a bit in 2024, and I want to be doing it more in 2025 because I've really enjoyed it. Again, like, ARCs come into this quite a lot, and Kindle Unlimited books, but I've gotten quite a few ARCs in 2024 that have brought me a new favourite author. So Brooke Montgomery, Kayla James, also Paisley Hope, who is partial indie, partial traditionally published. But these are the types of authors that I'm thinking of that I've found in 2024 that I've loved supporting and have loved their books that they've released in 2024. So going forward, I'd like to do more of that in 2025 as well. So I think in general, those are like my reading goals for 2025. It seems like a lot, but for me, I think they should be pretty achievable, and I'm looking forward to, in general, diversifying my reading across the board, as well as just the topics that I'm reading on and things like that. I also really want to make sure that I follow through with my journal this year as well. I got a new journal from Quirky Cup, and I really want to follow through on that because I always get partway through the year and just stop. And I don't want to do that this year. I've got quite a few journals actually this year. I have my Quirky Cup reading journal. I have my general planner for the year. Andy got me a Winnie the Pooh one, which I have already been actively writing in for the year. I also would like to journal myself memories. I've bought a couple of the plain journals from Quirky Cup that I can then journal myself for the year, because I wanted to document any exciting things that happened this year. And obviously it's now going to be a much more exciting year because we have like wedding planning and things like that to do. So I would like to journal in general a little bit more with memories and pictures and things like that. And I also have my wedding planner for the year as well. So you know, there's quite a few things for me to keep dipping in and out of, and I'm really hoping that having those different bits that I can dip in and out of will keep me active with all of them. So I'm hoping that that will be a thing. But yeah, I think other than that, in general, I think I'm doing all right with everything else. I think my goals, I would like to post on Instagram a little bit more active as well. I have these days where if, you know, it's a really nice day and I really get into taking pictures for Instagram, I will then just post them back to back to back for like a week or 10 days, and then I have nothing for like a month. And I just would like to be a little bit more consistent and active on Instagram, but consistency is the key. That's the thing that I need to be doing. And also TikTok, I would like to get into that a little bit more. So I want to be a bit more consistent and a bit more active on the socials that I'm not necessarily too consistent on. Instagram is consistency for me. I'm active on there, but I need to be more consistent. TikTok, I'm not consistent and I'm not that active on it. I doom scroll, but not posting. And I think that's my problem a little bit as well. When I post then, I spend hours on it afterwards, doom scrolling or seeing how my TikTok is doing, things like that. And I think that's the reason why sometimes I'll post for a few days and then stop, because I'm like, I'm spending way too much time on here now, I've got to get the fuck off. So I want to be a little bit more active doing that next year. So this year, struggles this year. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, those are pretty much my goals for 2025 as far as like reading and social media is concerned. Again, like I said, I do have some personal goals for myself for 2025, but I will keep those to myself. But yeah, chat to me in the comments down below. What's a goal that you would like to achieve in 2025? Do you tend to set goals or do you not bother? I know some people don't bother, and that's absolutely fine. They're not for everyone, you know. I don't know if I've actually ever achieved a goal in my life, like that I've set for the year. I would have to actually check maybe what my 2024 goals were. I'm fairly certain that I haven't reached them though. I also really this year want to actively try and finish my 25 and 2025 books as well, because I failed miserably in 2024 because I ended up with a lot of high fantasy on there and I just wasn't reading it, which set me up to fail essentially. But this year I've been very mindful about what I'm picking and putting on that list to make it achievable. So I've made sure that if you've seen the 25 in 2025 will come up tomorrow, but it ties in nicely with this video because you will see quite a lot of non-fiction and translated works going into that video. Very actively trying to implement the goals that I'm setting for today. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know a goal in the comments down below if you've got one for the year, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye for now.